economic trends and the experience of social dialogue point to the need to prioritize employment creation in economic policy. This priority is articulated in the new growth path, which provides the overarching strategic direction for our economic policies. It is critical because it shapes a keen emphasis, first, on equity and inclusion, and second, on sustainable economic growth and development on the other. That is growth that is increasingly green, efficient, diversified, and regionally integrated. Our discussions here start from the assumption that we need to achieve job creation on scale. This will require, among others, economic growth that is also more equitable and inclusive. In that context, we welcome concrete and practical ideas as well as constructive efforts to identify where stakeholders represented here can work together. And of course, like any such meeting, a central benefit is to strengthen networks and communication, which in itself opens up new opportunities. Our discussions here should have real implications for all participants in terms of how we take forward our common project. They should help us overcome differences in interest and ideology in order to achieve our common long-term aim of an equitable, strong, and dynamic economy.
Ideas matter, but South Africa clearly does not have a shortage of good ideas. Rather, we often face the challenge of effective and purposeful implementation of good ideas. In our circumstances, we too face competing interests. Any decision has those who will benefit from it and those who may be disadvantaged by it. And we do need to make choices on key matters. Are we making the optimal choices between competing interests? Do small, fairly narrow vested interests who benefit from an existing policy or practice unduly limit our hand in changing that policy, even when there are compelling national interest reasons to do so? Now, this need for choices and for a coherent basis to make choices is a major issue we address in the New Growth Path. And we resolve that employment and the creation of many more decent work opportunities should be the overriding priority that should shape the trade-offs required in any policy regime. Central to the work we've done in the New Growth Path is to identify where South Africa can realistically create jobs on scale, in large numbers. We call this the jobs drivers. They emerge in our infrastructure programs, including component manufacturing for South Africa's infrastructure expansion, but also that of the continent, in the core economic sectors of mining, agriculture, and manufacturing, in tourism and high-level services, in the social economy and support of small businesses, in rural development, in the green and knowledge economies, and in African regional development. In each area, we aim to rebuild the productive sectors of the economy, both in South Africa and in the region, while at the same time ensuring the greatest possible employment creation. At the heart of these strategies is the understanding that the state both creates employment directly, public sector employment, what we do through state-owned enterprises, but also that it provides critical support for employment creation outside the state, in the formal private sector, in emerging enterprises and smallholder schemes in the countryside, through cooperatives and the social economy, in each of these areas. For this reason, Cabinet has repeatedly stressed the importance of government agencies assessing how they affect employment overall as a first step towards ensuring that employment creation becomes a genuine priority across the state.